Go ahead, Ed.
Hello, this is Veterans News, a production of the United Veterans Organization of Nassau County. My name is Ed Allman. I'd like to thank Erica Bradley of North Shore TV for the use of her studio facilities here in Lake Success. I'd also like to thank Marcelo Mendez for his technical support. The show is broadcast on public access television. I want to say hello to our viewers in both Nassau and Suffolk County. I would like to thank Sabrina Lacey, former commander of the Suffolk County VFW and the current chaplain, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, welcome, Sabrina.
Thank you, Ed.
I'd like to thank our crew on camera 1. He told me it was really camera 3, but there's Robert Guarneri, the general. On the other camera, we have Mike Ferraro. Gene Shura is our assistant director. Beverly Allman is our graphics director. And Eric Spinner is our assistant producer. I've been producing this show for a while, and our director is Robert Lane. By the way, if any other members of the crew would like to host this show, just find a guest, okay? All right. By the way, if you would like to ask me a question or make a comment about the show, please go to my email, mardiv1@optonline.no it isn't. My email is mardiv1, O-N-E, @optimum.net. There it is. Okay, our guest today is Sid LYNN. Sid is the past District 1 president of the Veterans of Foreign War. We'll ask Sid what the commander, okay. What did I say? President?
District commander.
Okay. We'll ask Sid what a district commander is and what it does later. We'll talk to our guest in a few minutes, but first let us remember some of the veterans who died recently. Hutchison Tommy by some and Hutch by others. Dubosc. Hutch was from Huntington. He was a combat medic in the 27th Infantry Regiment, and he was a lobbyist for veterans' causes. I met Hutch many times when he brought the issue of the liver fluke disease to Congressman Tom Suozzi. 96-year-old Navy veteran of World War II, Philip Meschmidt of Dix Hills. He was an ensign aboard the Couric. Jerry Rosella of Levittown died at 91 years old. He served his country during the Korean War. Frank DiCostanzo was from Belmore. He was a member of the 3rd Battalion, 1st Marine Regiment in Vietnam, and he became a New York City policeman. Fred Mongolisa was enlisted in the Navy during World War II. He died several months after his 100th birthday. Frank Ryan of Massapequa served during World War II with the U.S. Army. Philip Montgomery of Huntington was a proud Korean War veteran of the U.S. Army. William McCoy spent most of his life in Northport and East Northport. He was a veteran of the U.S. Army. Sergeant Alfred Emanuel of Wheatley Heights was a veteran of the 45th Infantry Division, U.S. Army during the Korean War. And lastly, Primo Fiore of Deer Park served with the U.S. Army during the Korean War. If you know a veteran who died recently and you would like their name mentioned here, please email me at mardiv1@optimum.net. That's the end of Veterans News. Now it's time for our guest. Hello, Sid.
Hey, Ed.
Okay, I have to warn everyone, Sid has a hobby. And I won't tell you what that hobby is, but maybe you can figure it out. Sid, I said you were the district commander.
That's
of
correct.
the VFW.
Yes.
What does a district commander do?
Well, District 1 encompasses Brooklyn, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. Now, Brooklyn and Queens doesn't like to think that they're part of Long Island,
Right.
and that's a problem that the New York City school system told them that they were part of New York, but they're actually geographically, it's tough to get through some of those people to tell them that they're geographically connected to the island. So they are truly islanders. District 1 commander is actually, he's just a guy that stands up at the meeting and listens to everybody else speak.
Right.
Kind of the director, as far as most commanders just stand there and direct the way the meetings are going and make sure everything is running smoothly.
Okay. Have you met Sabrina? Oh, Sabrina was the director. No, she was the commander of the Suffolk County
That's
VFW.
correct. I've known Sabrina for many years.
Oh, really?
Yes, too many to mention here.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Sabrina, you want to take over?
Yeah.
I might as well get out of this.
I've known Sid for a long time. When I started with the VFW, probably in about 10, 15 years ago now, we have did a lot of things together.
Yes.
Sid is a funny guy when he wants to be, but he's also strategically a very well-known guy and a very forceful guy. He's standing up for the rights and the ability of the VFW to take care of the veterans of the nation and those that are serving overseas. And his jurisdiction with his patriotic is so well known throughout the whole nation now, because he has done a lot in his role as the district commander of the VFW, Veterans of Foreign War. And he's traveled many roads, and he's opened up really a lot of journeys in that area. And I want to commend you, Sid, here, because very few people could stand up for what they really believe to make transition and change of a radical nature. And you have accomplished that very well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where do you live, Sid?
I live in Center Reach.
Where is Center Reach?
Exit 62 on the LIE.
That's a long way out.
It's a pretty far way out from where we are right now.
Okay.
It's pleasant out there. Nice community.
It's not at the end of the expressway. The expressway goes to 72?
72, yeah. I belong to the VFW Post 400, which is in Farmingville, and that's a town right over from Center Reach. Yeah, it's between Selden and Center Ridge.
All right.
We're
This post, your post, Sid, right, is directly walking distance from the Suffolk County Community College.
We are directly across the street from the Suffolk County Community College, and we have a relationship with their veterans organization within the college. We do a lot of community programs. We give the post home to various groups, the Boy Scouts, community groups, the college veterans.
What college is it?
Suffolk Community College,
Suffolk Community
the
College.
Ammerman campus.
Okay, I knew they had several campuses.
Right, we're at Brentwood, Ammerman. I think they got one out east, don't they?
Yeah, they got one out east, but the one he's talking about is in Selden. So most people know it as Selden campus, the young ones, right? But a lot of the veterans that are over there, that's serving in that's going to school over there, they have mentored them, and they have come and joined his post. So.
Very good.
But one of the things I love about your post when I came out there a couple of years ago, if you could elaborate on this, is when you renamed the post.
Right.
That was very historical for me.
Our post, very small building, and somebody came by one day and they offered to fix the building up, and I'll tell you about that. But it was overgrown, needed a lot of work, and a fellow came by one day and he said, we'd like to do some work on your post, Turner Construction Company. And Turner Construction came in and redid our post right after we renamed the post. We renamed the post after two recent war casualties, Sergeant Jason Centora and Staff Sergeant Louis Bonacasa. And it seemed like right after we renamed the post, so many good things happened to our post, and that gets me a little emotional because it just seems like the heavens opened up, and Turner Construction came along, and they did a lot of work for us. They put a new roof on, new siding. They took down trees. They just opened it up. It no longer looked like a shooting gallery, as it was explained to us afterwards. The town of Brookhaven was very helpful in providing some crosswalks for the college to come over. The Suffolk County was able to put those. They put blinking signs so that people could walk over without getting hit by cars. So, it's, like I say, Nick Caracappa, our current legislator out there, has been very helpful recently with the parking lot and just doing a lot of did a lot of work over the last few years.
But Sid, but the most important thing is you brought those two families together, and today they still have support for one another. And also, that was a lot of years ago. But once a person have a young veteran during these times now that's fallen, once all the media go away, there's no way for the family. But the kids still going to grow up, especially when they I think the kids were like 5 or 4,
well,
and now they grow. But they know they could come back to post number 400, the VFW, and Sid is there.
Yeah.
And the rest of the guys is there to give them support. And if they need scholarships, because sometimes the kids need to go to college and they don't have enough funding, and that's what the significance of all the VFWs and American Legions and the AMVETs and the DAVs are doing.
Does your VFW have a bar?
No.
Okay.
No, our post is basically a dry post. It was when I went there, it was a dry post, and we are not permitted by our insurance to have alcohol on the premises. And it's not that we're all against alcohol. It just makes it for a very nice place to be, and it's more of a family feeling.
Right.
Last year we hosted Sachem Public Library for the outdoor movies. We had 5 or 6 movie nights where people could come with their kids and drive up and watch the movie on the outdoor screen. It's really the post. We just recently had the Farmingville Youth Association host a barbecue for anybody that wanted to come to the barbecue.
Very good.
Yeah, it was really, really nice.
Very good.
And as district commander, I want to go back to that. There were some resolutions that you produced while you were serving as district commander that you brought forward to make changes for the VFW. And that's the caliber of what a district commander is, because as a leader, as Sid being a leader, he knows how to do those forms. He knows how to put those things together to make the resolutions for the guys to get extra funding if they need that, or extra stuff for the post, or making change in the VFW the way we do our business. Because now with the new millennium, trying to attract the new young guys to our post, like you did, because I think you got a young commander now, right?
We have another new commander, another young commander. We're hoping that we get younger people, and when I say younger, they're in their 40s, and that's good. That's good. That's young enough and old enough to know.
But they still have families and they still have jobs.
Right.
But they take the time to come down and join these organizations because they know that not only is servicing them, but their wives and their children. Because in these days and age, we don't know what's going to happen. But to have some place to go directly with the nonprofit organizations for veterans, that's a significant thing, and it's free.
I also want to mention that anything that I've done in the past has only been on the shoulders of other people. There were people that mentored me when I came in, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything without following their footsteps. So it's not something that you just pick up and go.
Oh, sure.
You have to be taught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you, how long have you been married, and were you married when you served in Vietnam? Tell us a little bit.
No, I was not married in Vietnam, and I just celebrated my 24th anniversary with this wife.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And thank you for her service to you. All right. And you were away a lot. Being district commander, Ed, he had to go up to Albany a lot. There's a lot of meetings and a lot of things that go along with the VFW at that level. Am I right?
Well, I tell her there's a lot of meetings.
Well, you're away from home a lot, right?
Well, that's what I tell her, yes.
Okay.
I am away a lot.
All
Thanks.
right.
Is this is going to be
No,
public?
we're not.
This is on TV?
No, this is just,
She won't
a
hear it.
conversation between us. Okay. You mentioned Vietnam. Could you tell me about your military background? Because actually, we have the show so people can find out about military stuff.
Maybe relate a little.
Yeah.
I joined the Army. I beat the draft, so I joined.
I beat the draft too. I joined the Marine Corps. Okay.
Okay, well, I was going to join the Marines, but I graduated high school, so they wouldn't let me go
Yeah,
in.
sure.
Right. I graduated high school in June, and because I was going into the military, I graduated high school. Yeah, that's how close my grades were.
Okay.
And I went into the military September 9th, of 1966, went to Fort Hamilton, went down to Fort Jackson by
Wait a minute.
train.
Fort Hamilton was built in 1966?
So
Because I went through Fort Hamilton.
yeah,
It was
built a
around,
long
yes.
time ago, Sabrina. The
I'm joking. It's
from Jackson, we stayed there for 10 days in our civilian clothes because they had no uniforms. It was a big push for Vietnam. They had no uniforms.
Wow.
They issued our uniforms one night as we were going to the plane to go to Fort Ord, California. So everybody that was in my company in Fort Ord, California, basic training, was from the East Coast.
Wow. What
Yeah.
kind of guns did they give you when you got there to Vietnam?
Oh,
Did you get the M16 right away?
No. I was issued an M14 while I was in Vietnam, and no, I was not a. My duty in Vietnam, I was trained as a pole lineman, putting up telephone poles and wires. And fortunate for me, when I got to Vietnam, my MOS changed pretty quickly. I became a class 4 guy. I was in charge of all the material for the company, the telephone poles and the wires and everything related to outside telephone company stuff. But we were not a fighting company. I was based in Cam Ranh Bay, and anybody that knows anything about Vietnam, you go to Cam Ranh Bay for rest and relaxation or to recover from your wounds. So I had it really, really good when I was in Vietnam. There's no, I make no excuses for my service in Vietnam, but I also say that I was one of the fortunate ones. Good service, good place to be.
Yeah.
I stayed there for 2 years and 1 month and 24 days, and I only know that because on my little DD-214, it says that. That's how long I was there. I extended my tour of duty twice. Because I did not want to come back and shine shoes. So I did 9 months, came home for 30 days on the government, did 9 more months, came home and went back for 6 because I could get an early out. So it's not like I really loved Vietnam or loved the Army, but strategically it was best for me.
What was your rank when you got out?
I was a Sergeant E5,
E5.
not a spec, Sergeant E5,
In
yeah.
2.5 years you were in the Army?
Yeah,
And you got out as an E5?
yes.
Very good. Very good. I understand you were a policeman?
That's correct. I've been. I went through the Nassau County Police Academy in 1973, and I worked in the village of Malvern for 5 years, and I left and went down south for a little while, came back, and I started working part-time for a village in Suffolk County, and I've been there ever since. So I've been in the police business for 49 years.
Very good. I understand you do something with Project 9 Line.
Let me tell you a little about Project 9 Line. Pat Donahue is the director, the developer of Project 9 Line. A combat veteran, came back to the States, a little messed up, he thought, and he needed something, and he didn't know what he needed, so he put together this group, and it started out as a comedy group. And at the time, he had asked me to join the group, and I couldn't because I was district commander, really tied down with a lot of things. 2 years later, I joined the group. But in that 2 years, that Project 9 Line did a lot of shows. They did their first showcase at the Sayville VFW Hall, and I joined the group in the third year. I went to their class. And the class is given by a fellow by the name of Manny Aranis. He's they call him Tugboat Manny, and many people know Tugboat Manny. He's the teacher, if you will. And but Project 9 Line has expanded to they do a whole musical program. They have people that teach drums, they teach guitar, they teach painting, and there's all sorts of things with them, all through the arts, and it's all free to veterans. Free to veterans, not Vietnam veterans, not combat veterans, veterans. So if you were in the National Guard, if you were in the
Coast Guard.
the reserves, you're eligible to go to Project 9 and get involved with them. It's a great organization. They're located in Central Islip, and I do not know their telephone number or their address offhand, but my telephone number will be up on the screen if you want to know about Project 9. People are welcome to call me.
Project 9 it's in the town of Islip.
Yes.
In Central Islip, so it's right off Main Street.
Yes.
It used to be the old DAV building.
Yes.
And I understand that you used to do comedy.
Well, I still do comedy.
But you did comedy at, what was that casino that you went to and you did the
Oh, that was part of Project 9. We went up to Mohegan Sun twice,
Yes.
and that was an adventure. And since I've been doing comedy now for about 6 years, and Manny tells me that eventually I'll learn to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep working on
Yeah,
it.
I got to keep working on it. It's a work in progress.
Well, to say that you went to Mohegan Sun is to tell the veterans how you join a VFW or American Legion or Project 9. It can lead you towards something else.
Oh, my involvement with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and I also belong to a number of other organizations, and I think the best way for a veteran to get the information is through a VSO. The information's out there for everyone to have, but there are so many. You type in something into the website and you don't know what you're coming up with. But if you belong to a VSO, you belong to the DAV, the American Legion, the AMVETS, VFW, the information is spread a lot quicker, and there's more information disseminated that you can pretty well rely on. And that will bring me to another topic of using your service offices in your various counties or towns. These service offices will be able to put in for your claims things that you never thought you might be eligible for. And I've had guys tell me, I worked with a fellow that said, oh no, they told me I wasn't eligible, they told me I wasn't eligible. And I heard this stuff from this guy for 8 years. Finally, I dragged him down to the VA, and now he's getting a 20% check every month. And he missed out on 8 years of checks because now they told me, yeah, they're going to tell you you're not eligible.
Who told him?
They're going to, the VA. The VA told me I wasn't
VA.
eligible. Yeah, you have to really, you have to know, you have to have a veteran service officer really advocate for you. It's about the advocacy for the veteran, not the advocacy for the VA. VA is a wonderful place if you have somebody telling you, no, that's what you got to have.
Yeah,
So.
Tom Ronayne is very good at that.
Tom Ronane's top shelf. I just saw him the other day, and he's a terrific, terrific guy. And that's our Suffolk County Veteran Service Officer. I don't know who's in Nassau County.
Ralph Esposito, he's also very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
One of the things I have recognized is that the Nassau County and Suffolk County has really stepped up to do exceptional stuff for the veterans. I have never seen so much things that we have accomplished over the last years, even just being in the VFW. And you guys out there need to come and join the VFW. I stress that every time we come on this show, all right? I'm honored to be sitting here next to history, all right? Being that...
You are part of history.
Yeah, but we talking about you, Ed. I mean, you've been doing this show for how many years now?
History.
Yeah. How
that's
many
history.
years have you been doing this show?
I think about 18 years.
18 years you have put our veterans in the front of the camera to let them know that only we serve and we coming back, and some of us not coming back. Some of us doing marvelous things like past District Commander Sid LYNN, you know, and he's also still serving in the police force at the age that you are, because Sid is only 68, you know. So,
That's 58.
Yeah, 58.
58?
What do you mean
Yeah.
the age I am? What do you mean history? This is recent history,
He
current
was
history.
8 years old when he started the police academy.
And
That's
still
all right.
have time to put into these organizations, and still have time, Ed, to come down here and sit with us. Because I'm quite sure he got to work sometime this week. Am I right, Sid?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we commend you for coming in.
Well, thank you.
All right, and doing your thing. One question I have for you, as a past district commander, what do you for the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign War. What can you do to tell those guys out there that they need to come and join with us? What can you send? What message can you send out there to
Well,
veterans?
I really liked the VFW. The Veterans of Foreign Wars has really done well by me. But I will stress, we are not the end-all and the be-all. Or it's a be-all and end-all. One of those. There are other service organizations out there doing great things. So if a guy didn't serve boots on the ground during a conflict, they can't join the VFW. So what do? They join the American Legion. They join the AMVETS. There are fellows out there that have become disabled that their injuries are not combat related. They can still join the DAV. Like I said, other organizations out there do wonderful, wonderful things.
And that's true. And not only do we do wonderful things, we also give out scholarships to your kids. All right? We give out scholarships. We also help people. I understand that with the American Legion, DAV, all the organizations in your communities. All right? If you, like, times are getting really hard now. So if you have problems with your electricity, or if you're having problems getting through your last semester of class, and I believe now, even a little scholarship money for those loans that you took out, we still have some funding for that. Or the VFW, the American Legion, the VSOs, as you would say, right, Sid? We can raise funds for whatever entity it is. And I'm quite sure from the post 400, you have done something like that.
We have scholarships.
And with some of the comedy shows that you do, you raise money for certain entities. Can you tell us something about someone you have done something for?
Well, there's been...
Say something funny. I told everyone that you were a comedian, that you were going to be a novel guest for this show. You have about 2.5 minutes left.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
I don't think you're disappointed yet. You still have 2 minutes left.
I don't tell jokes.
You don't tell jokes.
I don't tell jokes. I
You
tell
gave
real
me a
life.
tape of you telling jokes.
Well, those were my life. I went into Kohl's. I picked a comedy right from a day-to-day thing. I go into Kohl's a couple of weeks ago, and to return something, and I go up to the counter, and I give the girl behind the counter my item, and she says, "I'm sorry, so we cannot take this back."
Why not?
That's what I said. I said, "Well, why not?" She said, "Well, sir, you bought it at Walmart." So that's happened. Everything I tell, I don't tell. This is a true story. It happened.
Okay. Well, I'd like to bring our crew up here, if possible, to get a shot of them. Bob Lane, if you can come out from the back, just turn it on automatic and come on up. Come on back.
Is
Bob
that Penny's
Guarneri?
brother?
Yes, sure. Eddie, who's Eddie?
Penny.
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 Lane.
Bob Lane.
Bob Lane, can you bring Penny up here and come on the stage?
Is 50 Cents coming too?
And Gene, Mike Ferraro, come on, get up here.
So,
Bob Guarneri, where is the general? Come on.
and
All
while
right, Eric.
While everybody's coming up, I want to say out there to everyone who's being deployed, the veterans that's being deployed, we stand behind you and we're here to receive you when you return back home. And this is what we do here. And if you have a family member or a deceased person that you want to be recognized, just hit up Sid LYNN.
Sid, did anything funny happen to you while you were in Vietnam?
I'm sure it did.
You did.
I'm sure it did.
I'm sure something must have happened. Boy. So this is kind of dead air time.
Oh, no, we can't
Project
have dead
9
end.
Line. What does that stand for? Project 9 Line? What?
I don't know. And there's my phone number on the screen and my email address. Please do not hesitate to call or email me if you want have any questions regarding the VFW or other VSOs or Project 9 Line.
And when are you doing your next show?
It's going to be in Lindenhurst. It's an outside show. And what date is today? Where am I?
August 30th.
Did we just...
So he's going to have
What
a
am I doing here? I think it's...
contact Ed, and Ed would have the information.